Hi, April. Very good to see you. I have an important question, and it's because I keep hearing other people talk about it. Is now a good time to rebalance? I think people are wondering because of all the recent volatility in the markets, and you and I have talked about it at length. So, as we navigate this volatility and so much uncertainty, is it a good time to consider rebalancing our portfolio?
It's a good time for a review of your overall strategy, but we have to be
Mhm.
really cautious with rebalancing. One thing that I caution people towards is that a lot of times people will make emotional based decisions and fear based decisions when there's a lot of volatility,
Right.
and they'll move to a more conservative position, which actually right now we're seeing a lot of bond asset classes down even more sharply than some equity asset classes. So we just have to be really cautious how we do that, and make sure that we have a well-defined approach to it as well.
hmm And it's important, April, because if we're not properly balanced, we may be taking on too much risk.
Exactly. So, if you think about a year like 2021, which
Yep.
certainly much better performance last year,
Yep.
um, if you left your portfolio how it was after a great year like 2021 for equities, then you're going to become too heavily weighted in equities, which means, of course, that you are overweighted to a higher risk. And typically that's unintentional.
hmm Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. I want to show one more graph here that I just think is so interesting. Asset classes year to date. And this is something, April, that you even just touched on, the poor performance of bonds. But we're also seeing stocks down. So if we have that traditional 70-30 or 60-40 portfolio, what do we do in this situation?
We've got to take a really close look, not only at whether you're 60-40 or 70-30, but what is inside of those positions, because some of those traditional asset classes that you'll see at the bottom of the chart there that are historically more conservative in nature, that historically help balance out a portfolio during large stock market declines, is actually not doing that for us right now. We're seeing a
Right,
high correlation with stocks and bonds both being
right.
down sharply on the year. So this is where we have to start looking at alternative investments with an appropriate percentage of your portfolio, because simply buying and holding stocks and bonds in this environment is just not going to get it done right now.
No, it's not cutting it. So are there any tax implications that we need to know about before we do any rebalancing?
If you're talking about a qualified account, so an IRA, a Roth IRA would fall into the category in this context, 401k, you don't have to worry about any tax implications of rebalancing, because the sale, whether you have gains or losses, it's not going to matter. There's no tax implication either way in that type of an account. However, if you're talking about a brokerage account, you'll see a lot of different names: brokerage, TOD, non-qualified. All of those are pretty synonymous. But if you're rebalancing inside of an account like that, you do have to be careful what you liquidate, because you can cause a tax implication by selling positions that, even though they feel like they're down significantly right now, and they probably are, they still could have a lot of appreciation over time. So
Mhm.
taking a really good look at how you're positioned and what those tax implications are is important. There are a lot of strategies that you can use to pair losers with winners, and to really take advantage actually of the volatility and do what we call some tax loss harvesting as well,
Mhm.
that benefit you for years to come. So there are ways to use it to your advantage in many situations. But yes, absolutely, if you fall into that category, make sure that you're very cautious with just blindly rebalancing or selling positions.
Right. Well, I mean, this was really enlightening speaking with you. This feels like advanced math to me. So thank you for walking me through it. If somebody has some questions, though, what's the best way to reach you?
Absolutely. You can find us at theretirementfamily.com. You can submit a request there. We'd be happy to reach out to you and see what we can do to help in your situation. Also, more than welcome to give either one of our offices a call, and we're more than happy to help.
Perfect. All right, April, thank you.
Thanks for having me, Erin.